Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video I want to talk to you about trucking and certain economic indicators which give us a really good clue as to the direction of the US economy and what we can expect in the near and the distant future. Now, before I jump in, I wanted to ask you guys for a quick favor. Please hit the like button on this video. Please share it on your favorite social media websites, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos that we release every single Friday. Every Friday we put up one video and we talk about one subject that may help you in your trucking careers and in your trucking business. And in the second portion of this video, we cover the loads that we've successfully booked for our clients, consisting of leased on owner-operators as well as carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. So without further ado, please hit the like button and let's jump in. So many of you guys have heard of these terms, like data-based economic indicators. So I'm talking about job reports, I'm talking about sales, like retail sales, for example, gross domestic product or GDP that's been thrown around. The talking heads love to talk about GDP. And these can vary from monthly to quarterly to annual. And in fact, certain job reports actually span a whole period of 10 years, which they do every single year. So there's a whole variety of them. But one thing that no one ever talks about is economic indicators that we can feel and that we can see. Here's the thing, trucking is one of those types of indicators. The US is a powerful country. There's a lot of trade that goes on, international trade, and a lot of freight or tonnage gets moved around throughout the country, and that is a strong indicator. The better and stronger the trucking industry is, generally speaking, the better the country is doing. And trucking is a leading market indicator. And here's what I mean by this. Trucking companies at the moment have begun to look for new clients, right? So they're looking for random freight to haul. So these might have been companies that have already had contracts, but they're worried about the solid, how solid those companies are. Are they going to go out of business? Am I going to have that contract next month or next year? Let's start looking around for new business opportunities. And so we're seeing that starting to happen in the trucking industry. So what isn't shipping is just as important as what is shipping, and we'll look at both of those. So what isn't shipping? Well, it's hitting the reefer market, or at least beginning to. So right now what they're seeing is food supplies that have traditionally gone to restaurants, hotels, and bars, those are beginning to slow down. In fact, they've already seen a very strong slowdown, upwards of 35 to 45%. That's a big, big decrease. Now, what has seen an uptick in terms of, again, reefers has been deliveries to grocery stores, right? So grocery store deliveries are coming up. Not everybody likes to do those deliveries, but here's the thing. You got to do what you got to do. Truckers know this better than anyone else out there. What has also surged is imports. So a lot of international trade is happening. Mainly the surge is happening in the LA basin, and that's coming from Asia. The ports have opened up, a lot more freight's coming in from other countries, and that's where we're seeing that the majority of that freight coming through. So what they're seeing from that is they're seeing more auto part shipments, because what's happening is that car sales and auto sales in general, whether they're trucks, cars, or SUVs, they're expected to increase, and so more parts are coming in. As far as, that's usually dry van freight, and that can also go on reefers. As far as flatbeds and step decks, what they're seeing is forest products are coming up. And what I mean by forest products is things that are related to housing, because housing starts and demand for housing is up. I mean, construction has been an all-time high for the last several months, and that's looking like it's going to continue for some time. Real estate is a hot market, and it's continued to be that way. So this is a really good indicator. But the question remains, is the demand in all of these categories that I just mentioned, is that sustainable? Is that sustainable? So unfortunately, we don't have an answer, but because we have seen trade come up, we have seen certain sectors of the economy improve and certain industries start to really perk up, it is a very positive indicator, and we'll watch that very closely. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to switch over the camera and we're going to look over some of the loads that we booked, and it was another good week. And once again, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads now. This has been another fantastic week to be a truck driver in America. The markets are paying very well, and we're going to cover the three major trailer types, including dry vans in both solo and team. We're going to look at reefers and flatbeds. Our first run is coming out of Hayburn, Idaho, going out to Boscobel, Wisconsin. It was a load of general, dry food stuff, 37,000 pounds, 1456 on the miles, booked at 3850 at 264 per mile. Then they took a load out of Janesville, Wisconsin, going to Aurora, Colorado. This was 43,000 pounds of canned goods, 984 miles, booked at 3350, which got them 340 per mile. All in all, they ran Saturday to Friday, ended up getting 2,440 miles, booked $7,200 worth of freight gross, and that got them an average of $295 per mile. Then we have some reefer freight coming out of Franklin, Kentucky, going to Bedford Heights, Ohio. This was a watermelon load, 40,000 pounds, 470 miles, booked at $1,900, which got them $404 per mile. Then they took a load out of Streetsboro, Ohio, going to Carneys Point, New Jersey. This was a load of frozen food, -10 on a reefer, 42,000 pounds. 395 miles, booked at $2,400, which got them $608 per mile. Then they took a load out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, going to Claysburg, Pennsylvania. This was frozen meat, -10 on the reefer, light load, 25,000 pounds, 226 miles, booked at 850 miles, which got them $376 per mile. Then they took a load out of East Liverpool, Ohio, going to Newcastle, Delaware. It was a load of minerals, so the reefer stayed off. It was a dry load, 40,000 pounds on 10 pallets only, 328 miles, booked at $1,950, which got them $595 per mile. And the final, they took a load out of Swedesboro, New Jersey, 1 pick, 4 dropper, drops in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Statesville, North Carolina, Salisbury, North Carolina, and a final in Newberry, South Carolina. It was a load of frozen food, light load of 26,000 pounds, 661 miles, booked at $2,800, which got them $424 per mile. All in all, they ran Friday to Friday, averaged an amazing gross of $9,900, which got them 2,080 miles at $476 per mile. And that's their loaded. Now, even with deadhead, they still ended up getting $414 per mile with deadhead. Amazing, amazing stuff. Now we got some dry van runs. It looks like it's a 1 pick, 2 dropper, bottled water coming out of Goshen, Indiana, going to Lancaster, Wisconsin, and Dorchester, Wisconsin. 496 miles, booked at $1,700 with an average of $343 per mile. Then they took a load out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, goes to Bow, New Hampshire. Motorcycle parts, very easy run, and a very good rate going east. It was 1,423 miles, very nice, booked at $5,400, even better. They got an average of $379 per mile on that one. All in all, they took these 2 runs, ran only Monday to Friday, ended up grossing $7,100, ran 1,919 miles at an average of $370 per mile. Excellent stuff. Drive in. Now we're going to look at some reefers. Looking at Franklin, Indiana, going to Houston, Texas. All of these loads are 1 pick, 1 drop. This was a load of frozen food, 40,000 pounds with a late drop off, 1,014 miles, booked at $2,900, which got them $285 per mile. Then right out of Houston, they took a load going out to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This was 445 miles, booked at $1,220, which got them $274 per mile on this load of beer. Then we took a load out of Chandler, Oklahoma, going to Elk Grove Village, Illinois. This was a load of dairy products, 26 degrees on a reefer, 751 miles, booked at $2,010, which got them $268 per mile. Our guys don't mess around. They squeeze everything they can out of these brokers. Then they finally took a load out of Marengo, Illinois, going to Harrisonburg, Virginia. This was a load of fresh pork, 28 degrees on the reefer. 1 pick, 1 drop, 773 miles, booked at $3,200, which got them $414 a mile. They ran Friday to Friday, finished off the week at $9,330, which got them 2,983 miles at an average of $313 per mile. Amazing. That was a reefer. Then they took loads in some dry vans. Tacoma, Washington, going to Reno, Nevada. It was fridge parts from Samsung, very light load at 11,000 pounds, 692 miles, booked at $1,500, which got them $217 per mile. Then he took a load at Sparks, Nevada, nearby, took it to San Diego, California, 40,000 pounds of dry goods, general stuff, 559 miles, also booked at $1,500, except this time they got $268 per mile. And finally, they took a load out of Rancho Cucamonga, California, took a load to Plainview, Texas. It was a super light load, 2,000 pounds of pots and pans, 1,057 miles, saved a ton of fuel on that one, booked at $5,000, which got them $473 a mile. All in all, they ran Monday to Saturday, and during that time, they grossed $8,000, ran 2,308 miles, and they did that at $347 per mile loaded miles. Now we got some team loads. These are dry vans. We're looking at Houston, Texas, going to Ocala, Florida. It was a load of cartons of 40,000 pounds, $4,000 booked at 889 miles, averaged $449 per mile. Then they took a load out of Groveland, Florida, going out to Conyers, Georgia. Need to come out of Florida, and they did a great job. It was a load of water, $600 on 408 miles. They got $146 coming out of Florida. Excellent job, and it made up the difference out of Lithia Springs, Georgia, going to Detroit, Michigan. This was a load of miscellaneous goods, 35,000 pounds on a weight, 714 miles, booked at $1,900. So they got $266 per mile. Then they took a load out of Toledo, Ohio, going to McKenzie, North Dakota. This was a load of empty containers, a light load of 20,000 pounds, 1,058 miles, booked at $2,500, which got them $236 a mile. Then they took a load out of Valley City, North Dakota, going to Newton, Kansas. This was a load of honey and totes. It required a tanker endorsement, which the driver had. A bit heavier on the weight, 44,000 pounds, 673 miles, booked at $2,100, which got them $312 per mile. And finally, they took a load out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, to going out to St. Louis, Missouri. The load was 43,000 pounds of Pepsi and Pepsi product, 395 miles, booked at $1,530, which got them an average of $387 a mile. Very respectable. This team ran Friday to Friday, ended up grossing $12,630 for the week. They ran 4,137 miles and averaged $305 per loaded mile. Excellent job. Finally, we're going to look at some flatbeds. Coming out of Riverside, California, going to Bedford, Texas. This was a flatbed load, gravel and super sacks, 41,000 pounds on the weight, and all it needed was some tarping and some straps. 1,366 miles, booked at $2,400, which got them $1.76 to get them to Texas. Excellent rate. Then they took a load out of Arlington, Texas, going to East Granby, Connecticut, which was a 7,500 pound load, super light load for a flatbed or any type of trailer. This was a load of racking, no tarps required, first come, first serve on both the pickup and the drop-off facility. 1,703 miles on this one, booked at $5,000. It makes sense. You take an excellent load going to Texas and then a really great load going out of Texas. Lots of miles, 1,700 miles. They booked us at $5,000, which got them $294 a mile on a super light load. Finally, they took a load out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, going to Holland, Michigan, which was a load of empty containers, another light one of 20,000 pounds. No tarping, just straps. It was an easy strap and go type of a freight type of load. Early pickup, late drop off, 822 miles, booked at $1,900, which got him $231 a mile. This driver ran Friday to Friday, ended up grossing $9,300 for the week, ran 3,891 miles and averaged $231 per mile, $239 per mile loaded miles. So if you're not making this kind of money and would like to, we have a few more spots left for our dispatch. If you run under your own MC authority, we can dispatch you. We'll take care of all the paperwork, insurance call, all the rate negotiations. All the loads are booked in your company name and your MC authority. We'll get you everything, get you this kind of money and more. And if you're an owner-operator who's looking for a really great opportunity to lease on with a really good, transparent, clean company, we have spots available for you too. Get all the information about our services in the description box below. Please like the video, share it on your social media platforms of choice. Definitely subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next week. Until next week, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.